My name is David Lassane, and I'm the Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid here at Randolph-Macon College. It's my privilege to welcome you to our virtual open house. There's no place like RMC. Now, for you class of 2021 students, kind of keeping with this theme of the Wizard of Oz, we want you to know that we realize that your college search has been kind of hit by a tornado. And so we're here tonight to hopefully help you get back on the right path. And to do that, I encourage you to really take the most of the opportunities this evening to engage with our admissions and financial aid staff. And then in the other evenings, tomorrow night with our faculty and with our student life professionals on Wednesday evening. We hope that this programming will help inspire you to maybe submit an application and hopefully come visit us in person. And so, we really just want to kind of help you get on the right road and help you along the way. So to do that, we're going to get started with tonight's programming. And I'm going to turn things over to Faith Fox, one of our admissions counselors, and Sydney Demonstria, who is one of our students. And they're going to take you through the next session. I hope that I see you tomorrow evening and on Wednesday evening. So enjoy tonight and come back and see us. Thanks.
Thank you, David, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for night one of Randolph-Macon's Open House Week. Before we get started with the presentation, I'd love to introduce myself and for the rest of the staff that we have on with us to introduce ourselves. So my name is Faith Fox. I'm an admissions counselor for Randolph-Macon and a graduate of the college with the class of 2019. And I'm a regional counselor, even though Randolph-Macon is in Ashland, Virginia. I live and work out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I work with students from the entire southern region, as well as central US and out west as well. But Sydney, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Sydney Doomstra. I'm a junior from Montpelier, Virginia. I'm studying communications, journalism, and then aside from being an admissions intern, I'm on the field hockey team and a part of a Greek life organization here on campus.
Hi, everyone. I am Emily French, and I work with students from Chesterfield County here in Virginia, and also with our nursing students. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Snader. I'm an admissions counselor with Randolph-Macon College. I work with all of our students from Northern Virginia, Northern Neck, and I also work with all of our transfer students. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Susanna Hagan. I'm an assistant director of admissions, and I also coordinate the open houses. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. I work with students coming from Henrico County, a suburb of Richmond, as well as the Shenandoah area of the state of Virginia down through Southwest Virginia.
Wonderful. And I will go ahead and screen share and we will get started with our presentation. Okay, so there's no place like RMC. To Yellow Jacket and an overview of RMC. In this presentation, you will learn about the history of Randolph-Macon, our location, a little bit about academics and student life, and you'll get to hear some from our awesome intern, Sydney, about her student life experience as well. Throughout the entire presentation, I encourage you to submit questions through the Q&A button, which you can see on your screen, and someone from our admissions staff will be sure to answer all your questions. Starting out, here are some of our buzzwords. Some of them may seem familiar, but some of them are distinctive to Randolph-Macon, and they're things we want to draw your attention to throughout the entire presentation. First, I'll start with the numbers. Randolph-Macon was founded in 1830, actually in Boynton, Virginia, and we moved to Ashland in 1868. We have right around 600 students, and that breaks down to 53-47 female to male ratio. 78% of our students come from the state of Virginia, and 22% come from out of state. And those 22% of out of state students come from 30 different states and 22 different nations. So we have a good diverse mix of students on campus, even knowing that Virginia itself is a very diverse state. And 23% of our students identify as being racially diverse. Now, the first word that we'll go over on this list is co-to. I'm not sure if any of you have traveled to Randolph-Macon's campus before, been on campus, or just been through Ashland, or you might live near the city. But Ashland is coined co-to for center of the universe. About 30 years ago, the mayor of Ashland coined that title for our town, and no one disputed it, so it stuck, and it's trademarked for Ashland. In the background here, you can see a picture of the train station, Amtrak station, that we have just on the corner of our campus. The train goes right through our campus, which is really accessible for students who live all up and down the East Coast, even for students who don't, if you just want to travel. Even though you can bring your car on campus all 4 years, I had friends that lived in Baltimore and Boston, and they didn't even bring their car on campus. They just took the train home every break because it's really accessible for students. If you go a little bit past the train station, you'll run into downtown Ashland. In Ashland, we have a great blend of some mom and pop shops, some local restaurants, coffee shops, boutiques, but then we also have your national conveniences such as Walmart, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, all of the essentials. So it's a really nice blend. We have a great relationship with the town of Ashland and the people in it. They're always welcome on our campus, and they always invite us to participate in some of their town events, such as their farmers market, a really nice train day that they put on. And we also have something called the Big Event, which is for students to perform community service in the town of Ashland as a way to give back and say thank you for providing such a nice, safe environment for us. We want to give some community service by raking people's leaves, helping them paint their fences, wash their cars, wherever it may be. Also, in reference to our location, we're about 15 minutes from Richmond, Virginia, which is the capital of Virginia. You can see in the bottom and to the right at the bottom, that is the skyline of Richmond. There's so many fun things to do in Richmond, from shopping, concerts, festivals, but we also see a lot of our alumni go to live in Richmond after they graduate. So having those alumni connections so close can be very beneficial, especially with internships. I actually did an internship myself in the 2 twin buildings you can see in the center. I did an internship in the one on the right with an alumna of the college, and I'll talk about that experience a little bit later when we talk about internships. But then we're about 90 miles or an hour and a half away from Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. So there's even more possibilities up there as well. We have something called the Washington Initiative, which is where faculty and staff can plan trips with students up to D.C., whether it be for fun or experiential learning, going to the Cherry Blossom Festival or different museums, and the college pays for those trips for students. They usually even give students $10 to $15 to buy lunch or buy a souvenir. So students love going on those trips. But we're also about an hour and a half away from the mountains in the west and an hour and a half away from the beach in the east. So our location can appeal to lots of different types of people. And now I'll turn it over to Sydney to talk a little bit about her experiences in Richmond and Ashland.
Yeah, so just like what Faith said, Ashland is such a welcoming community for our school. And the Big Event is such a great way for students like me to give back and make connections with the community. So as you can see from the picture on the left, that's my field hockey team and myself. And we did this event together, which is another little perk of the Big Event, is that you can actually sign up with the organizations you're a part of. And that year we were painting fences and raking leaves. And it was really fun because the people we served and got to do this service for, they actually made us lemonade and brownies, and we got a chance to just get to know them really well, which is something I don't see a lot of other students getting to do. And this opportunity is just great, getting to connect and build those relationships with the town of Ashland. And so the people we served, they actually ended up coming out and supporting us at a few of our field hockey games that fall, which was just so awesome to see. And just keep seeing that relationship be built upon. So then on the right, you can see that is me and my freshman year roommate. So we took the Amtrak train all the way up to Philadelphia for the weekend to visit some out-of-town relatives, which was really awesome. And then on the way back, we got to stop in Washington, D.C., grab some lunch, and then head back home to Ashland, of course. But as a student, I've used the Amtrak station so many times throughout the year, whether it's to go to Washington, D.C., visit friends, visit family. It's just awesome that, because we do love our town of Ashland, no doubt about it, but it's also awesome that we have access to other opportunities and experiences outside of the town of Ashland because of our train.
Yeah. So now for the academic experience at Randolph-Macon. We are a liberal arts and sciences institution, which means aside from the classes that you'll be taking for your major or for your minor, You'll also take classes in all other areas of knowledge so that when you leave, you have a really well-rounded education. You're not just studying for one specific subject. You're learning lots of different skills that can translate to different careers, such as how to write and speak effectively, how to think critically and present yourself, public speaking and presentations and things like that. Now, starting with the left-hand side of the screen, and then we'll work our way over, we are 100% graduate assistant free, which means you'll never have a teacher's assistant teaching your class or grading your papers. It will always be a faculty member. And 99% of our full-time faculty have their PhD. So they truly are the experts. They design the class, teach the material, and grade your tests and papers. And they also hold office hours, so you can go talk to them if you ever have questions about the subject that you're learning, if you want to talk to them about your career field and your future, and they want to get to know you. Our average class size is 16 students. And when I was a student, I had a class as small as 9 students and a class as large as 30 students. So it can be a little bit smaller, but we usually don't have classes over 30 to 40 students. And I like that we have average class size that is smaller because it allows you to have more discussion-based classes and one-on-one opportunities to work with your professor and hands-on opportunities in class. If you ask students what's your favorite thing about Randolph-Macon, I bet most of them will say it's the relationships that students have with their professor, because it truly is unique. They want to get to know you. They want to know what your learning style is. If you're struggling with a topic, they want to help you with it, and they want to help you achieve your goals as well. It's also not uncommon for you to have some of your professor's cell phone numbers because they want to be accessible to you. So if it's outside of class, but you still have questions about the things that you're going over or problems for homework, you can reach out to them and they'll reach out back out to you and help you, even if it's outside of class. We have a lot of opportunities for students to do research in their undergraduate, including a Shapiro Undergraduate Research Fellowship, or SURF for short, where students can apply, and if they're accepted, they can live on campus over the summer. They're paid close to $3,000 for conducting their own research, and you have a faculty member assisting you, which is great. Not a lot of students get that opportunity in their undergraduate, but at Randolph-Macon, that is a possibility. And students can go and present their research at regional and national conferences, as well as put it on their resume and talk about it in interviews for grad school or for the job force. We have 50 plus majors, minors, and pre-professional programs, and some of our newer ones are a criminal justice or cybersecurity, criminology, a new nursing program, as well as a new engineering major. We are a recognized Phi Beta Kappa college, and 35% of Randolph-Macon students study abroad, which is pretty high above the national. I think it's because Randolph-Macon presents its students with a lot of opportunities to be able to study abroad in our 414 academic calendar. So those numbers represent months. We have 4 months of our fall semester and 4 months of our spring semester, which is pretty normal at most colleges, and then a 1-month term in the middle, which always falls in the month of January. And now I will let Sydney talk a little bit about our January term.
So J-term or January term, we offer three different options. So the first one being an intensive study. So that's one class on campus to try something new, tackle a different subject, or focus on a favorite subject of yours. So we find that students actually tend to perform higher academically during the J-term because they are focused on that one subject, they're meeting with that class, and they're completing the coursework every day. Personally, I've done this option for the past 2 years, and I've taken courses I knew I'd struggle with, aka math, and I found that it's very helpful because I was able to dedicate all my time to it. And as an athlete and someone who loves being involved, this was so helpful because I could focus all my attention on that challenging subject. So the next option is our study abroad option, and this is our students' most popular way to study abroad here, but we do have semester and year abroad programs as well, and they keep being a growing interest here just because students have been sampling studying abroad during J-term, and they just want to keep that experience going for even longer. But the study abroad during J-term is essentially students traveling in small cohorts with Randolph-Macon faculty and other students to learn their course material at that destination. So this really allows them to apply what they're learning in that environment they are in and really fold into the cultural component of being outside Ashland, Virginia. There are multiple options offered each year, and students can travel in J-term in their first year at Randolph-Macon. This is great for students who cannot forfeit an entire semester or who just want the comfort of knowing their entire class and professor. And in just a minute, we'll share with you a few pictures of my current teammates who spent this past J-term abroad. And then lastly is internships. Internships are typically reserved for juniors and seniors, and this is just a wonderful way to learn about the potential career field while gaining those professional skills. So students attend their internship Monday through Friday for 4 weeks, which allows them to see all aspects of their work environment. They also build stronger relationships with their mentors, and they're able to take on those substantial projects because of that consistency in their schedule. Randolph-Macon alumni are also extremely helpful in opening their workplaces up for Randolph-Macon students as well.
For me, being a business student at Randolph-Macon, it was a requirement to do an internship to graduate. So I was really blessed that I had awesome faculty that were interested in what I wanted to do and what I was interested in. So I told them that I wanted to work for a nonprofit organization and I was interested in higher ed. And they placed me at the Virginia Foundation for Independent Colleges with an alumna, and it was an absolute perfect fit for me. I had an amazing experience, and I didn't have to stress about finding an internship all on my own. So I was really grateful for my personal internship experience during the January term. Now, before Sydney shows some pictures of her teammates, I do want to say if anyone has any questions about January term and the opportunities that we have, please feel free to submit them in Q&A, and some of the admissions counselors will be happy to talk to you.
Alrighty, so pictured on the left is my teammate Erin Behringer. She's a current senior. She studied in Martinique, France, and this is a picture of them doing a cruise along the coast, just checking out the locations of everything. As you can see, it just looks like so much fun. I am a little jealous. And then pictured in the top right corner is Claire McGill, another senior, and she took a communications course during the month of January in Kenya, and they spent that day particularly getting to hang out with some elephants, which is such a cool experience. And then the bottom right corner is Katie Tanner, another senior, who spent her J-term studying in Australia. And as you can see here, she went skydiving for it. She also was explaining to me just how many experiences she got while she was abroad and how amazing the trip was and how many memories she has gained from it. So as you can see, they're not only a great way just to open up your opportunities here at Randolph-Macon and really dive deep into your higher education, but also just to make some amazing memories with the school.
Thank you for sharing this. So now our Edge Career Center will help take all of those amazing opportunities that you've had, the study abroad opportunities, the internships, and put them in a form where you can really utilize them to your advantage. The Edge Career Center is my personal favorite thing about Randolph-Macon, and it's also the reason I decided to go to Randolph-Macon as a student. They are the application of your education. So you're gonna get all the proper education and knowledge you need in the classroom, and they're gonna teach you some extra life skills and show you how to apply that. They host over 155 career development programs each year. These range from a resume and cover letter workshop to an etiquette dinner, so you can learn which one's your bread plate, which one's your drink. There's like 3 forks on the table, so which one to use when. So with that fancy dinner that you'll have with your boss in the future. A financial literacy workshop, so you can learn about establishing credit, how to buy your first car, buy your first home, rent an apartment. And their most popular program is the Career Boot Camp, which is an experience for sophomores where you learn all the ins and outs of interviewing and professional development. So through this weekend, Randolph-Macon students will be submerged through a series of workshops to learn about how to tell your own story, how to conduct yourself in an interview, what to wear, what side of your blazer to wear your name tag, how to give a proper handshake. They also help students during this time with virtual interviews and how to explore careers and get to know different companies in this virtual setting that we're in. And also students have the opportunity to go through mock interviews with alumni. So you can put all of those skills that you've learned into practice, and then you just get to network with all the alumni, get lots of business cards and some possible internship opportunities. But 90% of graduates are employed or in graduate school, and this is 6 months after graduation. And our Edge Career Center was ranked number 13 in the nation by the Princeton Review for career services. So they're truly doing amazing work. And probably the coolest thing about the Edge is that you can use them even after you graduate. So 10 years down the road, if you decide to change your career, you need to rework your resume, anything, you can come back to the Edge and they'll help you with all of those things. Speaking of our alumni, they're pretty awesome. They stay connected on our campus. We are ranked number 3 in Virginia and number 22 in the nation out of all public and private colleges for alumni giving participation. And I think that shows 2 things. One, that students are having a great experience at Randolph-Macon. That when they leave, they want to stay connected and they want to give back and ensure that other students have a great experience as well. And also that students are becoming financially successful enough to be able to give back. If you haven't already seen our virtual tour, it is one of the optional things that you can do later on. But if you haven't seen it, you will see a few newer buildings on campus that are named after some of our most generous alumni. But all of our newer buildings are completely funded by Friends of the College and alumni giving. Not a penny will ever come out of students' tuition to afford those buildings and build them. So now for the fun stuff, YJ or Yellow Jacket experience. And I will turn this over to Sydney to talk a little bit more about.
All right, so this is our student life, and the school is really passionate about getting their students really involved in their own passions. So if you didn't know already, YJ stands for Yellow Jackets. And if you didn't know, we have a mascot named Buzz. I actually got the honor of being Buzz for a few weeks of our basketball season last year while they made it to the NCAA tournament and won ODACs. Honestly, I felt like the most popular person on campus whenever I was Buzz. It was a blast. However, there are plenty of other ways to get involved that don't require you being the mascot with 100 clubs and organizations. And students actually have the power to make their own clubs, and the school is very supportive of helping you achieve this. So any club you can imagine, we have it, or the school will fulfill it and help you create your own club. So I'm personally involved in Young Life and Habitat for Humanity and a mental wellness club. Some of those I did pursue in high school, and then some of those I also discovered through our activities fair that we have each fall. We also have 13 Greek life organizations, one of which is a co-ed service fraternity. And Greek life is a great way to volunteer and serve and just give back overall. And you can see at the bottom that we've raised nearly $50,000 for philanthropy organizations and have over 23,000 service hours in 1 year alone, which is really amazing, I think. We also offer 14 residential halls, and some of those options are community-styled, suite-styled apartments, and townhouses. We are a residential campus, with that being said, we have 95% of our students on campus for all 4 years. I love this because it makes the student body just feel closer and just really builds that close-knit community. We also have 18 varsity sports, and we're a part of the ODAC, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, which is a Division III, and we have so much school spirit and pride, especially in our athletics. Our main rivalry is Hampton-Sydney, and we are known as the oldest rivalry in the South. We have a tradition each year called The Game, and it's one of my favorite days of the year. We have 10,000 friends, family, alumni all come to this game, and if it's away, Randolph-Macon will send busloads of our students to Hampton-Sydney to cheer on our YJs. And my brother was actually a Hampton-Sydney Tiger, sadly, and you could say that our family dinners definitely got a little bit awkward. However, the game trophy has been sitting in our school store for 6 years now. It's been getting pretty dusty, so you could say they're not that much of a threat right now. However, you did not hear that from me. And then on this next slide, so the first picture on the left is me, freshman year. Irby Hall is my freshman residential hall, and I adored it. We have something we like to call Freshman Village, where all of our freshmen live their first year at Macon. And it's just awesome, especially for your first year adjusting to college, to be surrounded by other freshmen as well, and just build those close connections with your freshman class. And in the middle, that's me playing field hockey. I mentioned that previously, but I love being a student athlete, especially for Randolph-Macon College, just because I feel so supported by the community. I've had professors come out to games. I mentioned before that when I volunteered for the big event, I had people from the town of Ashland come support me. I also have a lot of, my clubs or my friends come out and support me. So that's my favorite thing about being an athlete. It's just, it's overwhelming how amazing the school is with helping their athletes feel just loved and accepted and welcomed. And then on the right is a picture of my Greek organization. I think my favorite part about being in a Greek organization is the leadership. opportunities that come with it. I'm the chief recruiting officer for my Greek organization, but the school is also amazing about ensuring that all students are provided with leadership opportunities, and they really want their students to be able to capitalize on those skills that come with being leaders.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Sydney. Here are pictures of our wonderful admissions staff, including Buzz. It's really nice to have a counselor who understands your high school and where you come from, and someone you can go to if you ever have any questions about the application process or more ways to connect with RMC. If you're not sure who your admissions counselor is, you can look on our website, and we also have chats with your admissions counselor tonight from 8 to 8:30. So be sure to go on there, meet your admissions counselor, and get to know them a little bit better. We also encourage you to follow us on social media, as we're always posting updates about things on our campus, new events coming up, and we also do a lot of student takeovers. So it's nice to see the typical life of a Yellow Jacket. But that brings us to the end of our presentation, and the next session starts at 7:05. So you can stay on the same link throughout the entire night, and we'll just pick up with the next session at 7:05. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to listen, and we will be sure to check the questions in Q&A. But since we're out of time, I will just say thank you so much, and we'll see you again in 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere.